If you're hosting a barbecue or a picnic this summer, most of us are just thinking about delicious, great food. But what we really need to think about is actually cooking our food safely.
Foodborne illness in this country is very serious. What most people read on the news is what's happening in a restaurant, a food product that may be on the grocery store shelf. But what a lot of people don't realize is the majority of foodborne illnesses take place right in the home.
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 76 million people are sickened each and every year from food-related illnesses, and 5,000 people die. Prevention is key. NSF International is dedicated to help your family live safer. NSF is the public health and safety company. They certify everything from supplements to water and food thermometers. They also offer many food safety tips which are key for grilling out and picnics. Tip number 1, avoiding cross-contamination.
It's very serious because if you think about it, a lot of your meats can have potentially harmful bacteria in it. Chicken, particularly with salmonella. We've all read about E. coli in ground beef. So it's very important to, one, keep that separated from fruits, vegetables, things that you're going to eat without further cooking.
That also means changing plates while grilling, something many people forget.
One of the things I do when I'm grilling is I take everything down on one plate, put it on the grill, come back, that plate goes in the dishwasher, and start with a clean plate. So you don't want to make that mistake of using that same plate over again.
Don't even think of using that bacteria-filled marinade on your grilled meat.
One of the things we want to remember when marinating is whenever you have this in the refrigerator, keep it on the bottom shelf, keep it covered because you've got a lot of your juices from the chicken that's going to get in the marinade. Second thing is, get yourself a little separate extra bowl of the marinade. You don't want to be basting the product once you put it on the grill with the same marinade that you've been using that has the raw contaminated chicken in it. So keep yourself a separate container there.
Food safety tip number 2, check the temperature of your meat.
I think having an accurate thermometer, that's something that NSF does. We certify thermometers, so if you get an accurate thermometer, check the temperature of food. That's probably the most critical thing you can do. There's always a point on the thermometer, and it's usually up an inch or an inch and a half from the tip. This one happens to be very good where it's very close to the tip, but you need to remember that it measures and averages the temperature across that part of the thermometer. So when you're putting it in your product, you need to make sure that you really come in from the side if you're checking a piece of chicken and test it in the thickest part. And again, for chicken, you want to make sure it's cooked to 165 before you pull it off the grill. And a thermometer is one of the handiest tools you can have when you're cooking out.
Food temperature is also tip number 3.
I think one of the most important things, particularly when I see people out on picnics, is make sure you keep food hot or keep it cold. A lot of times I'll see food lay out for a way too long period of time. You never want food to be out for over an hour or two, particularly if it's very warm out this time of year.
Tip number 4, proper hand washing.
When you think about avoiding cross-contamination is good hand washing practices. Can't say enough about that. You know, after you put that product on the grill, you bring that dirty plate up, put it in the dishwasher, wash your hands before you go back to the next part.
One final tip when barbecuing. Make sure you plan ahead.
Thawing food properly. A lot of times you see shortcuts being made, leaving products sit out because of not planning ahead of time. So good planning makes for good food safety.
For more food safety tips to help your family live safer, just go to nsf.org.